Hey, what up, y'all? Conscious One coming back at you. So I got another Chicago Stadium video link attached to this video, guys. I'm not gonna turn this into an old man story, but I do have to tell you guys, where I come from. A lot of people just sooner or later they're just gonna simply want to know, where I come from, guys. It's like this, man. When y'all watch this, let me raise this one day. When y'all watch this little link of the Chicago Stadium, guys, everything about this building reminds me of myself. You know what I'm saying? I grew up about 2 miles away on this building on the west side of Chicago, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching this video, and the guy's talking about, how that last Star Spangled Banner song, Wayne Messmer. I don't know how many stadiums this guy Wayne Messmer sung the anthem in, but I'm gonna tell you, if he only did it in Chicago, man, we had the best, Star Spangled Banner singer of all times, Wayne Messmer. I don't know how many stadiums he did. I gotta do some research on that. But goddamn, I mean, I remember this dude too. Man, this dude was something else, man. Because everybody was talking about how that last, you know, uh, Star Spangled Banner song by Wayne Messmer. They was talking about how loud it was, how much it just moved that stadium. One guy said the dust fell from the ceiling and landed on the ice. I mean, guys, man, I'm telling you, I try to give y'all an example of what that building was like. It was mystical, y'all. And y'all know what really got me in my emotions when one of the players was talking about, I think it was Chris Chelios, I'm not sure, or Roenick, probably Chelios. But one of the guys was talking about how, showing up there as a player and having to walk up those 17 stairs to get to the hockey floor, man, guys, that reminds me of my life, man, because it's like, here you are, you're an athlete, you're a hockey player, right? You're an athlete, and you got to play this grueling game, very highly physical game. But to get there, just to play the game, you got to walk up 17 steps, right? And in hockey shoes. If that ain't my life, guys, I don't know what it is. It's like, man, just to play the game, I had to work hard. Just to play the game. Like, goddamn. Now we're gonna tie one arm behind your back and make you hop on one foot. Go out there and do that job just as good as everybody else. I mean, guys, these are the type of videos that bring tears to my eyes. Like, people want to know, what do you care about? What do you be in your emotions about? That's how these people is. Man, when I watch documentaries like this, because when I see that stadium, guys, and you gotta understand what the people, the narrator is trying to show you how much toughness and grit is associated with that stadium. On the side, you see the Greek, pillars and walls and all that stuff, and somebody said it reminded me it had like a Rome Coliseum type of thing to it. I mean, guys, this is where I come from. I was tough. That stadium, to me, that's me. Everything about that stadium, that's me. I'm tough. And people say, man, you don't look like you went through anything. You don't talk like you went through anything. You don't sound like you don't look like you went through anything. The only people who know, guys, what I've been through, very few people. Like, people who know what it was really like to be me, like to grow up in Chicago and to deal with what I had to deal with. There's only a few people, guys, a handful of people that know exactly the type of grit that I really possessed. I'm talking about built tough. The rest of the people when it comes to me, they just kind of stuck on, but you don't look like you that tough. You don't sound like you that tough. You don't act like you that tough. Guys, this is home. That Chicago Stadium, that gritness, that toughness, that's my home, y'all. This is I came up on the west side of Chicago. This is what I came from. And whether my life had really nothing directly to do with the Chicago Stadium, well, I mean, that's where I grew up, guys. if not directly, indirectly. Because when I watch these documentaries and they talk about that old Chicago, that reminds me of myself. I was built in the same way, just tough. And people would never forget me like they would never forget that Chicago Stadium. That's the kind of legacy I got attached to me. Yeah. But that story they tell, guys, when they tell those stories about the Chicago Stadium, guys, man, I understand. That's what put tears in my eyes, man. That's where I came from, man. That's like, man, this new stuff, man, all this new stuff that they built, man, it just cannot. Man, the energy is just not there anymore, guys. That energy in that Chicago Stadium, boy, in the early 90s, man. I'm just glad I got to witness it. They tore the stadium down, I think, when I was 14 going on 15. I remember that big hole. I remember going down Madison Street when they put that wrecking ball through that stadium, and I remember going down the street, the stadium, and looking at that big hole. It's just, nothing was ever the same. When that stadium went down, guys, I'm telling you, it was the start of a whole new era for me, emotionally. That's how much that stadium, and y'all know I'm telling y'all the truth, man, because, based on everything that I talked to you guys about, and then I kind of deflect to something like this, you guys know what I'm telling you is the truth. I'm telling you, when that stadium came, it was like a whole new era came in. It's like, how can that much energy be around that stadium? Well, let the narrator tell you the story. It really was a lot of energy and emotion associated with that Chicago Stadium. It's just, oh my goodness. So whenever I want to take a trip to the past, man, it's like I told y'all, sometimes I just have to remember. You just have to remember where you came from, and always keep that inside of you. That's where you came from. I don't care what I get, what I have, how much money I have. Man, always remember the toughness, that you came from, the grit, the grind, and there was happiness in that and grind and pleasure. There was joy in the struggle, guys. Let's never forget about the joy that you had in your struggle. There was joy there too. It wasn't all bad, guys, and sad. That's why I tell you, I'm not a professional victim. It's like I was crafted a certain way, and that had to be a part of the process. But there was joy in that sadness, guys. I really mean that. It was a lot of lessons to be learned, but it was, I really appreciate where I came from, guys. I talk about that a lot. Chicago has changed a lot. It's not the same anymore. Oftentimes when I'm, in Chicago, I just think about those days, when that Chicago Stadium, because nothing was ever the same after that. And it was just so much to this city, guys, that I can never forget. I'm talking about, WGN, Bozo the Clown. All that stuff, guys. Throw all that in the mix, man. Wrigley Field, the museums. I wish they had kept the old Soldier Field looking the way it looked instead of making it look like a huge UFO. But I guess I got to be happy with at least they kept the pillars around it, because, the way they got that area built up. A lot of y'all don't know about the Chicago World Fair that was here in, I think, the late 1800s. That was the best World Fair of all time. It would never be another World Fair like that. Matter of fact, if I had to get in a time machine, that's probably one of the eras I would want to go to. I want to go to visit that Chicago fair. And the only thing that they have remembering that era is the museums. And then it's this, I think it's this statue, I think in Marquette Park on the south side. They still got that statue. All that was associated with that World's Fair. It was no other World's Fair. Nothing in New York, 1960-something World's Fair. And nothing in that could compare to Chicago's World Fair, guy, in the late 1800s. And all you can say was how, we have all this technology. We love to make ourselves believe that all this new stuff that we're seeing with the capitalism, there was a lot more going on in industrial age. It was a lot more glamour. It was a lot more glitz. It was a lot more glory. When I talk to y'all about the Uptown Theater, I'm talking about an era that I wasn't even born. That's what's crazy about it. Maybe I was here. I don't know. But I be talking about stuff going on in Chicago before I was even born, because I recognize the it's just the way that I think about things, guy. I think about things in a very honorable and respectful way. So when I look back in the old Chicago era, I say, now that this is what life's supposed to be like honorable, respectful, glamorous. Of course, not walking around with your pants hanging down, nothing like that. We all know back in the 20s, men dressed up in suits walking around and dressed up in jeans. Women wore skirts and stuff like that. That's the thing that's what my foundation is built on, guys. Honor, decency, and respect. And anything that goes outside of that is unacceptable, no matter what subject matter we're talking about. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave y'all two links. I'm gonna leave a link talking about that Chicago Stadium, the last Blackhawks game. And people talk about how I transmute energy too. Yeah, I'm good at that because here I am. I'm not even a hockey fan like that, but I'll click on a video and all of a sudden it's like I've always been a hockey fan. You know what I mean? Like that type shit. I'm a really, really good transmuter of energy. I can just flip it on like a switch, So, and then I'm gonna leave y'all a link of that Chicago World's Fair, so maybe y'all can. I told y'all I'm a historian. I love talking about history. I love museums. I love historical things. That's one of my favorite. My favorite subject was history. I loved history. How did things get to be the way they are? But anyway, guys, so I'm gonna leave a link of the last Blackhawks game in Chicago Stadium, and I'm gonna leave a link of the Chicago World's Fair, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.